How's it going? Making sure everything's working before I get started here. Yep. Looks like it's working. So got 2 more drinks to try and another protein bar. Yeah. Cool. So we've got Lucky Energy, OG Luck. Cool cat on there. And we've got Cove Prebiotic Soda. And it's kind of like an added bonus. One of these. So a different flavor of the Trubar. That'll be last. I think I'll start with the Cove soda. It's a smaller can. All right, so I'm going to do my little presentation of each one, and then I'll check the comments and see if anyone said anything, which is usually not the case, but that's okay. All right. First up, the Cove soda. Take a look at this Cove soda prebiotic. Wait, Cove. One more time. What is it? Hold up, I'm going to get something. This will work. It's got so much condensation on it. Oops. All right. Take a look at this Cove Prebiotic Soda in Blue Razz. So blue raspberry flavor. 0 sugar. See what we got here for the nutrition facts. Contains less than 1% juice, 10 calories, 115 milligrams of sodium, 4 grams of dietary fiber, has 10 grams of erythritol, which is a low-calorie sweetener, and 70 milligrams of vitamin C. We've also got, for the ingredients, filtered water, that erythritol sweetener, acacia fiber, lemon juice concentrate, natural flavor, citric acid, Himalayan salt, stevia extract, which is another low-calorie sweetener, and the vitamin C. And it looks like it's made in Wilmington, DE. Caffeine-free, gluten-free. I'm just going to rehash all of that up close so you can see it on screen as I'm saying it. Here it is, Blue Razz. I like this blue color. Prebiotic soda, 12 fluid ounce, 355 milliliters. We've got less than 1% juice, 10 calories, 115 milligrams of sodium, 4 grams of dietary fiber, and then that low calorie sweetener, erythritol. And for the ingredients, we got filtered water, erythritol, which, I'll talk about that in a second. Acacia fiber, that's the 4 grams of fiber. Lemon juice concentrate, natural flavor, citric acid, Himalayan salt, stevia extract. So you've got the erythritol and the stevia. These are low-calorie sweeteners, sugar alternatives. So do your research on those and understand what you're drinking. There is some mixed research on this one specifically. And this is a newer one, but you might have some people that I know have claimed that they're at least intolerant, if not allergic to it. So yeah, so just read up on it. Anyways, it also has the vitamin C in there. Caffeine free, gluten free, made in Wilmington, DE. Here's some other marketing info. Not going to bother reading that, but no colors from artificial sources. That's nice. I think we covered everything. There we go. Sorry, it's kind of... You can already smell it. Definitely that classic blue raspberry smell, which is not a real fruit. It's like a manufactured flavor. There it is. Nice to see it's just simple, colored as it needs to be based on the ingredients. There's no added colors. See the carbonation. Looks good. A little bit opaque. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely a fruity smell to it. It's not super strong, but I did notice it just opening the can, so it's more than some. Smells pretty good. Yeah. Again, this is the Cove Prebiotic Soda in Blue Razz. Try it out. It is a little thick. There's some tanginess, some sourness. I think the slight bit of lemon helps. It's less than 1% of the can, but I feel like I can notice it. It's pretty refreshing tasting. The sweeteners, the erythritol and the stevia work pretty well. There's a slight aftertaste, like a slight sugar alternative taste, which if you've ever had any of these, you'll know what it tastes like, but it's not super noticeable. Yeah, it's got that berry flavor, little tangy, little sweet, little sour. I think it tastes pretty decent. There is quite a bit of salt in here, 115 milligrams. That's 5% of your daily value. So it's a little bit less than a bag of chips. And those are usually like 6%. But I mean, that's a fair amount of sodium for a drink. I don't know if I really notice it. Yeah, I think that the salt, the sodium in this case, it is Himalayan salt. I do think it's noticeable, but it's like a flavor enhancer. You do get a slight amount of dryness in your mouth from it, probably. That could come from the acids as well. It has vitamin C in the lemon juice and citric acid. Yeah. Let me try it from the can. It's kind of slick in my mouth that time. I wonder if some of the fiber was kind of towards the bottom. It's 4 grams of fiber. There's a slight amount. There's a slight amount more carbonation from the can. So if you want as much carbonation as possible, drink it from the can. But in general, I feel like this one just isn't super carbonated. Yeah. I do think this one has enough flavor that you could drink it from a glass with ice and you'll enjoy it because obviously that's going to water down things. But yeah, overall, pretty nice. So that was the Cove Prebiotic Soda and Blue Razz. Yeah. All right. Hold up. I'll be back in a second. Anyways, dogs barking. Oof. All right. So that was the Cove. That Cove. That was the Cove Blue Raspberry Prebiotic Soda. Not too bad. I think the flavor is nice. Yeah. Any comments, questions? No. Okay. So we can move on to the next one. Wipe this off as well. I saw this in the store and it was like, wow, that's cool branding. Cool cat. So I picked it up. This is the OG Luck Cool Cat. Anyways, take a look at this Lucky Energy OG Luck energy drink. It's got a very cool cat on there. All right, let's see what we got. It says you defy all odds. By 1 in 30 million chance. Uh, is this the founder or something, Mr. Lucky? Okay, interesting. Yeah, well, I'll show that on screen, but apparently this person was in a plane and it crashed and they survived. Okay. Anyways, it says nutrition facts contains 0% juice, 0 calories, 310 milligrams of sodium. That's a lot. Okay. Then for the ingredients, water, citric acid, natural flavors, sodium citrate, taurine, beta alanine, aline, however it's pronounced, Mosia root, caffeine, sodium benzoate, sucralose, and panic ginseng. Contains 200 milligrams of caffeine per serving. So this is the Lucky Beverage Corp. Made in America in Austin, Texas. Interesting. Yeah. Anyways, I'll show it on screen. You can get a close-up view here. So, Lucky Energy, OG Luck flavor. Look at that dude. It's got the necklace, dice necklace, the cool glasses. Yeah. All of the ones that I had seen of their flavors, this is like a painting. That's why it looks like dripping paint. But this is the only one with an animal. The other ones were fruits that I had seen. Sparkling OG Luck, natural flavors, 0 calories, 0 sugar, 5 super ingredients, 16 fluid ounce, 473 milliliters. We've got some more information here. You defy all odds. So it says, sorry for me to read from here. 1 in 30 million chance lived through a plane crash, apparently. Yeah, so assuming this is a real story, that's quite a deal. Mr. Lucky. It says contains 0% juice, 0 calories, 310 milligrams of sodium. That's 13% of your daily value in sodium for a drink. That is a lot. And then we've got water, citric acid, natural flavors, sodium citrate, taurine, which is a usual energy drink component, that beta alanine, ALANINE. That's also in some energy drinks. And then this, I've never seen this one, MACA root. And we've got caffeine, sodium benzoate, which is a preservative. Sucralose is a low-calorie sweetener, sugar alternative. Do your research on that. There is some mixed research sometimes for those. And then ginseng. 200 milligrams caffeine for the can here. Then Lucky Energy Corporation is in Austin, Texas. Yeah. I think I covered everything on here. Let's see. There's nothing cool on the topper. All right. Let's pop this open. Yeah. It smells like a fruit. It's supposed to be green apple or some sort of apple flavor. And I think it fits. There it is. Got a slight yellow cast to it. See the carbonation. Looks fine. I prefer drinks that don't have artificial colors and such, so this is good. I don't think I need to zoom in. Yep. Very nice. Now that I can smell it more from the glass, it's kind of an intense smell there. Anyways, again, this is the Lucky Energy OG Luck flavor. It's supposed to be apple. Yeah, it's got somewhat of green apple flavor to it. And then on the back end, it's almost like they describe it as cotton candy flavor on the back end. I think it makes sense. It's got this extra sweetness to it. I'm still getting some carbonation, even pouring it out in this big old glass. I think that I think the flavor is pretty decent. A mix of apple, and then somehow after you drink it, you do get that candy taste, like sweet. I guess, yeah, I guess it makes sense to describe it as like a cotton candy after flavor going on. Yeah, interesting. There's a little bit of tanginess. There's almost like a bitterness as well. I don't know if that's coming from the root or the beta alanine stuff, or maybe that huge amount of sodium, 310 milligrams for the can. 13% of your daily value in sodium. Again, it has the 200 milligrams of caffeine. So for, man, my mouth is so dry. Probably from this. So if you compare a 8-ounce cup of coffee, that's maybe 75 to 115, 120 milligrams. Whoa, if I can speak. All right. Yeah, so per volume, this probably has less caffeine than a cup of coffee, but it's 16 fluid ounce. So you're getting a lot of liquid here comparatively. Uh, I think it tastes pretty nice. If you're okay with sucralose as a sweetener, I think it works out. Obviously, it's 0 calorie. I'm going to try from the can here. Yeah, if you want as much carbonation as possible, just drink it from the can. I think it does have enough flavor. The flavor is not super like burst in your mouth type flavor. It's a little muted compared to some energy drinks. But I think it's enough that it would work fine in a glass with ice. The salt, to me, in that just general sodiumness, is throwing me off a little bit. So I do feel like I notice it, but it can be a mix of a flavor enhancer, but also it's just a lot of sodium for a drink. Uh, I feel like I do notice it, especially afterwards. My mouth feels pretty dry, but I don't know if that's from the sodium or something else in here. Yeah, and like also a slight slickness to my tongue and such afterwards. Anyways, I like the flavor. It's interesting. It's a mix of apple and then kind of candied aftertaste. They call it cotton candy, but yeah, interesting one. Unusual mix of ingredients with some of the common ones. It does have the taurine. It does use sucralose. Uh, Pretty common amount of caffeine per can. The odd things to me would be the large amount of sodium and the Macia root, MACA root. I'm not sure what that does in the beta alanine. Sorry. Uh, yeah, so it's an interesting one. It's probably worth checking out if you're into apple. Like it doesn't have a large amount of tartness, but it's just like a slight tartness with the apple flavor. If you're into that. Anyways, that is the Lucky Energy OG Luck flavored energy drink. All right. I think I need to blow my nose and like a bubble. I'll be back. Oops. All right. That was the Cove Prebiotic Soda and that Lucky Energy Drink. Got one more thing. This is going to be kind of difficult to do, but we'll make it work. No comments, questions? No? Okay. Next. Take a look at this Trubar Coca for Coconuts flavored protein bar. You can see it's got some sort of dessert on here on the front. Yeah. 1.76 ounce, 50 grams. It says no gluten, no dairy, no soy, no seed nuts, no sugar, alcohols, all delicious. And then simply made with almonds, coconut shreds, pea protein, and cassava. Yep. And we've got 190 calories for the bar, 9 grams total fat, 3.5 grams saturated fat, 140 milligrams of sodium, which is 6% of your daily value, 23 grams of total carbohydrates, 14 grams of fiber, 6 grams total sugars, 12 grams of protein. So protein-wise, it's a little bit less than some of them. It does have some calcium, iron, potassium. And for the ingredients, tapioca blends, protein blend. I'll show this on screen up close. Natural flavors, sea salt, organic coconut, sunflower, lecithin. Yeah. I'm trying to be careful how I touch it because these things inside melt pretty easily. There's the cocoa for coconuts, flavor protein bar. Trubar, 1.76 ounce, 50 grams. No gluten, no dairy, no soy, no seed nuts, or no seed oils, no sugar, alcohols, all delicious, according to them. You got. Can I do this easily without shaking around? Is the question. There we go. Nutrition facts: 190 calories, 9 grams total fat, 3.5 grams of saturated fat. Let's see, 140 milligrams of sodium, 23 grams total carbohydrates, 14 grams of fiber, 6 grams total sugars. So very low sugar considering the calories. Protein, 12 grams. 12 grams of protein. I've seen ones like 20 grams of protein for a bar. So this is on the lower end of how much protein, they would put in these things. Calcium, 14, or what am I saying? 4% of your daily value of calcium, and then 30% of your daily value of iron. That's interesting. Yeah, so for the ingredients, we got the tapioca blend, which is tapioca syrup, cassava root flour. There we go. It's just throwing me off seeing my mouth move on the camera. Try to get it a bit closer. Protein blend, which is brown rice protein, organic pea protein, almonds, organic cane sugar, palm oil, which is fairly traded, and then cocoa powder, natural flavors, sea salt, organic coconut flour, and then that sunflower, lecithin, does contain tree nuts, which are almonds. So if you're allergic to tree nuts, this is not going to be the one for you. Yeah, and it says manufactured in a facility that also processes peanuts, milk, soy, fish, wheat, sesame, and other tree nuts. So definitely, if you're allergic to any of that stuff, especially peanuts, don't get this one. All right. So that's that. Pop this open. See if I can There we go. I'm concerned that it will melt if I touch it. It's got a coating to it. There we go. That's what it looks like. It's got a chocolate coating or cocoa coating. So this one's going to be difficult to break open. They're very chewy. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to break it in half. Maybe I can... Oh, there we go. Nice. This is working a little bit better than the last one. Come on, camera. There we go. That's what it looks like on the inside. You can see kind of a brown, light brown, and then the chocolate coating on it. Pretty cool. And then it's got the little flecks of the coconut on the top. Yeah. Right. Do a zoom out now. Let's try it out. It's pretty chewy, dense. There's a little bit of sweetness to it. Definitely notice the coconut flavor. Very slight bitterness. Pretty chewy, but easy to eat. I would be careful of heat with this thing because the outer coating is going to melt easily. Mm. So clearly, it takes a while to chew. And when you're first chewing it, it's almost like, okay, it's vaguely like gum or maybe a fudge, like a really dense fudge that takes you a while to chew. But then it breaks up into, it just breaks up. So I think it's fine with the texture and everything. It's just, I mean, this might be a common thing with protein bars. I don't really buy a lot of protein bars, so I'm not super familiar with what to expect with them. I think it's fine to me, but personal preferences always play a lot into textural things and flavor things. Comparatively, this one to the other flavor I tried, I think I prefer this one texturally. It's a little drier and it breaks up easier in your mouth. But yeah, the mix of chocolate coating, you got the coconut flavor, which is nice. It's not like a strong flavor. I think the ingredients are good. You got the pea protein, the almonds, the coconut, that cassava. So it has a good amount of fiber. And just generally, it comparatively to some of the protein bars I've seen, this doesn't have any sugar alcohols. So the sucralose or whatever they put into the protein bars. I've seen that a lot in protein bars. It doesn't have any peanuts, although the problem is it's manufactured in a facility that processes peanuts. So this is still not safe, right? For people that have a strong allergy to peanuts, which is sad because I think it would be a nice alternative if they're okay with tree nuts, but it does have almonds. So yeah, it's tough to find a protein bar that is free of all of those nut things and legumes or whatever they're called for peanuts. I personally like this one, but I don't really have big experience or whatever to say if it's good or bad compared to anything else on the market. But yeah, that was the Trubar coconut version. Can't really easily show. Let me try to show it on screen. And that was the coca for, what is it called? The Trubar. Anyways, that was the Trubar coca for coconuts. There we go. That worked out a little better than the last one. If you're on Amazon or YouTube, feel free to follow the respective channel. That would be helpful. I do food and drink reviews. Been trying to do a lot of those lately. They're pretty fun. Or food and snack reviews, or whatever you would call this thing. Mostly I do drinks, like drink reviews so far. It's fun and it's a little bit less effort than my usual stuff or my past usual stuff, which would be which would be camera equipment, technology, computers, any random technology thing that I have available is what I tend to cover. But I do have some stuff definitely that I could do live streams on and things like that. But the food and drinks or snack reviews and drink reviews are fun and a little bit less effort and difficulties. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna head out. See ya. And I'm gonna sign out of the YouTube channel as well. I'm gonna go over to my Scotty Photon channel for video editing. So let me stop my local recording. Put that in there. So I'm going over there. The 16 views on Amazon today. And the unmute rate was a little higher than last time. Whoops, pressed the wrong. There we go. Yeah. So there's that. All right. So I'm going to sign out of the YouTube channel and swap it for the other one. There's no way to do raids of my YouTube channels. You need a pretty large audience to do raiding on YouTube for some reason. All right. And that